Today I have 3 really fun props for your Halloween party and also a free printable. Today we're going to make a crystal ball out of an old bowl I found at the thrift store. First things first, you want to make sure you clean it really good to make sure that your products adhere to it. Next, you're going to take some Elmer's glue and your choice of paint color. It can be any paint color you want. Now when you're mixing these together, it doesn't really matter how much paint you add. The rule of thumb is the more glue, the more sheer your finish is going to be. The more paint, the less sheer your finish is going to be. I'm going to mix these 2 colors because I want a vibrant purple. Now I'm going to paint the inside of the glass. I'm going to paint the whole thing all the way over. The sheerer you keep the paint, the more you're going to be able to see the light shining through. And if you can get some variations in color with the glue, it really looks good. One other tip I have for you is try to rotate it as the glue is drying, because I just let mine run to the bottom, so it dried a little heavier there, and that's just some tips I have for you. And here it is all dry. I think I let it dry outside about 3 hours. Now see where the glue and paint are heavy on the bottom? I should have rotated that a little bit as it was drying, but I didn't. So just be mindful and do that a couple times and yours will look much better than mine. Since I believe in using what you have, I'm using the lid from my Vital Proteins for the base of my crystal ball. And now I'm going to paint the lid with black chalk paint because we know chalk paint sticks to just about everything. What we have so far, it's hard to see all the swirls on this one. And let's start putting this together. So I have the lid that I'm using as the base, but here's the really cool part is these puck lights. These things have 15 different colors. They're battery operated. You use a remote control. They have a timer if you want. They do everything. And here it is all lit up, my little $3 thrift store bowl. I can't wait to get it all decorated. And if you like the lights, I'll link them below. And I hope you like this little craft. Today I'm going to take the plastic skeleton head from the dollar store and make it into a lighted, embellished candle. The first thing I'm going to do is paint all the indentations in the skull with black paint because we'll be going over that with a gold paint, and we want the black to show through to kind of make it look aged. Now I'm going to take an old battery operated candle that I have and trace around that because I'm going to be cutting that out with my X-Acto knife. Now I'm just going to cut over the area I traced with the X-Acto knife, and as you can see, the X-Acto knife goes through this pretty easily. So next I'm going to take a zip tie and I'm going to use that to make sort of a candle holder for the base of that candle. I want to be able to change the batteries when I need to and just be able to unscrew the top and make sure that the candle doesn't fall through the hole. Once it's nice and tight, then I'm going to take some hot glue all around the base of the skull and the candle holder just to make sure that it's in there for good. Did I say we were painting this thing? Because we're not. I decided I'm going to use gold leaf, well, at least fake gold leaf. I got it from Amazon. I love gold leaf. In this pack that I have, it actually comes in all these different colors. And it's going to make it look richer and like a more expensive piece. Now I'm using regular furniture sealer as an adhesive for the gold leaf. You can buy the stuff to adhere it to, which works really, really well. I just happen to have sealer, and sealer works really well too. So I'm just applying it kind of all over, not completely all over, but almost all over. Next, it was time to stick the gold leaf on, and I was doing this outside. This stuff flies everywhere. I love playing with it. It's so much fun, and it's so pretty. But it goes everywhere. Now, I'm just putting this all over. I'm not going for a smooth look like if you were putting this on furniture. I'm going for a nice textured old aged look. So just stick it on and have fun with it. Here's what it looks like covered. Now, I didn't put any adhesive in the eyes or that nose area and some of the other black spots because when I rub all the gold leaf off, I want those dark spots to show up. Once you've given the sealer time to dry, then you want to take a soft brush, a glove, a tissue, and wipe off all of that excess gold leaf. As you can see, I'm using a soft brush. I know I didn't get a good shot of me doing this, but you can see my backyard in this shot. Next, I had a bunch of rhinestones left over from my Taylor Swift Eras Tour Air, and I put these silver color like black ones in the eyeballs, and it looks really cool in person. Finally, it was time to paint the candle, and I used chalk paint because you know it sticks to everything. And once I got it done, it looked so good. I couldn't wait to get it lit up, and this is what we have. Ta-da! And here it is finished, but wait till you see it staged. It's going to be gorgeous with my Halloween display. Today we're making the Pottery Barn Cauldron. This one's going to be a lot cheaper and a lot prettier. You're going to need the black cauldron from Five Below, these clear balloons called Bobo balloons, a hand pump. You have to use a hand pump on these Bobo balloons. When you use the Bobo balloons, there's a couple things to keep in mind. You want to grab that really tight and twist it. Then you can pull the tail really far and tie the neck. Now it's getting fun. I got this little Light-Up Fog machine. I'm going to put it in here and test it out to make sure it works. Now when you add water, just make sure the water is over that silver part. That's the water sensor. And yay, it's working, it's working. Look at that. And now I'm going to put the Bobo balloons over top of the fog light. Next, I want to make the bubbles look like they're cascading over the cauldron. So I found these little adhesive dots. I was looking for Zots, but these were a lot cheaper. They're clear, they're double-sided, and I can stick the little bubbles right on the side of it. You could probably adhere all of your bubbles, but I was just worried about making them stick to the side. Here's what it looked like with the bubbles cascading down the side. I thought it was really cute. To keep it as close to the original Pottery Barn cauldron, I ran some fairy lights all through the top of the bubbles. And here it is in all of its glory. Now, I didn't put the orange bow like the Pottery Barn because I don't like the orange bow. But what do you think? Today, we're making a ghost centerpiece out of the dollar store floating ghost. You're going to start off with the dollar store floating ghost and a pool noodle. Then you're going to cut off the top string, the hanging string, and then just open them up, fluff them out really well, get all those wrinkles out. Next, choose what you want to use as a vase or to hold your ghost up. I'm using a pitcher. You can use a vase, you can use a bottle, anything that you can fit the pool noodle into. Since my pitcher is a lot wider than my pool noodle, I'm also cutting off little chunks of my pool noodle and sticking them and wedging them in there to hold my pool noodle up straight. Next, I'm taking 2 pieces of floral wire and I'm going to trim those down a little bit and stick those into the pool noodle. And the foam head will attach to those. That way it'll kind of be like a little rebar sticking out from the foam and into the pool noodle to give it a little extra support. And once you have the floral wire firmly into the pool noodle, you're just going to take a little bit of glue, run it around the edges just for some added support. Now you're going to slowly lay your foam head down on the rebar. And I say slowly because the glue is wet and you do not want to get that fabric in there. So go slow. You do not want to go through the foam. So just take your time on this part, slide it on in. And once you have the foam head securely attached, just go ahead and add a little glue to it. You don't want to use really, really hot glue on this or it will melt your foam and your pool noodle. Now we're going to trim the ghost fabric to go with whatever tabletop or height of picture that you're using. Just cut big old W's down the bottom. You can't really mess this up. And next is time for the little witch's hat. If you missed my last video, I have a video that teaches you how to do these little witch's hats for pumpkin heads and all the little things that we can't find this size witch's head for. It's in one of my last videos and you can check that out. Now it's time to start decorating. Decorating is always my favorite part. Glue in some little flowers in the hat. You go with whatever style you're going with. I'm doing a lot of oranges and rust, so I'm going with yellow, orange, and rust. Now it's time to make his little bouquet that he's going to be holding in his hands. I'm going to trim down the bottom of this because it's really long and it'll be too long for him. Trim that down. Then I'm going to take my little teeny shears and cut just the littlest hole so that I can fit the stems through that hole. Now, once I got the stems through the hole, you'll see underneath the ghost where the little hands, the little foam hands come together, there is a metal clip holding those foam hands. I attached the stem to that metal clip and then added some hot glue. And here he is, all finished. I think he's so cute. If you need instructions on the hat, it's in my last videos. And please follow along for more crafts. So I found these two wood pictures at Dollar General. They were on clearance and they were adorable and they're going to be great for projects. But today I'm going to use them to make true Halloween pictures. Remember, when you're decorating, no matter what your theme is, you got to have some height in the background, and that's what we're going to use these for. So I'm going to add some chalk paint to them. I can't remember what it is, but I will list it in the description. I'm going to get colored paint. Now, I've made a couple different types of prints in Canva. One is tonics. It's going to go with the whole crystal ball theme that we have going on. And the other one has like some elixirs. Well, I made free printables for you in 3 different sizes, 5 by 7, 8.5 by 11. These happen to be 8 by 8. But that way, no matter what old frames you have, you can stick it in there and, you know, use it, take it back out when you're finished. What I did was the paper on this picture was that really pretty crinkle paper, and I don't want to get rid of that. So instead of gluing or adhering my print to it, I'm just going to place it in there and use like a safety pin or something to push it down into the sides and hold it in there so that I can change it out after the season's over. And the prints are free to print out. There's a link in the description for each size. Click on it, it'll take you right to the Canva print, and you can print it right on your computer. And look how cute they are. I'm going to get these all staged and on display, and I'll post them as soon as it's finished.